Over the past several weeks, Lucasfilm has once again found themselves at the center of controversy for a multitude of reasons about Disney Star Wars, but specifically for the upcoming Rey movie, which brings Daisy Ridley back as a character that, quite frankly, not a lot of people were asking to have back. But it's really about who's directing this movie. Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, the activist director who doesn't seem qualified to helm a project like this, who on New Year's gave an interview where she didn't talk about what a big Star Wars fan she was, but instead virtue signaled about how exciting it was to finally have a woman shape the future of Star Wars, ignoring the fact that Kathleen Kennedy's been in charge for the past decade, ignoring the fact that so many women are a part of the executive team, the story group, and of course, have already directed a multitude of Star Wars projects. And as we've seen the rumors and reports swirling surrounding this movie and how much fans are rejecting this, Lucasfilm has been desperate to do damage control. But as it turns out, Daisy Ridley herself is probably doing the most effective damage control that anyone could possibly do at Lucasfilm by, shocker, defending Star Wars fans. Who would have thought that if you don't go out and attack a fan base, that might actually be a good thing? But no, Daisy Ridley, even when baited by the woke mainstream media to try to dump on fans, to try to throw Star Wars fans under the bus, she actually says something that I think a lot of fans will be happy to hear. Daisy Ridley says sexism from Star Wars fans is blown out of proportion. Ridley was asked about some online uproar from fans after filmmaker Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy was announced as the director of Star Wars New Jedi Order. And we'll listen to the video itself, but I want to read a couple quotes before we do. Ridley, who plays Rey in the blockbuster franchise, appeared on the show Thursday and was asked about some of the online uproar from fans that she was baited into, again, by these interviewers. And she says, quote, "I think my take is things get blown out of proportion. The interactions I've had with people have been nothing but wonderful and supportive. I've only ever been embraced, and I think we're going to make a great film." Now, I do not like Rey's character. I think most people that sat through the Star Wars sequel trilogies were not big fans of Rey's character. That has a lot to do with the writing. Now, I don't particularly think Daisy Ridley's a great actress, but I haven't really heard her go out and throw fans under the bus or anything like that. In fact, if you remember all the way back, kind of remember the opposite. When a lot of people were taking shots at Star Wars fans over The Last Jedi, Daisy Ridley said this. Daisy Ridley says fan criticism of Star Wars The Last Jedi is fair. And now, once again, even when baited into it for the second day in a row to try to say something bad about the fan base or try to virtue signal so hard, instead she says, hey, I'm excited for what we're doing. And in terms of, people saying fans are sexist or whatever, I think a lot of that's a little bit overblown. Let's listen to this.
Speaking of, if you're here, we've got to talk Star Wars, of course. It was announced earlier this year. There's a new film coming out. It's called A New Jedi Order, I believe.
Which I don't think is even the official title of the film yet. That's kind of what a lot of people have been running with, but that's what he says.
Can you tell us about it?
I was thinking about this last night. Something happens with someone.
That's so funny.
I actually haven't read a script yet, but the story I've been told is fantastic, and I'm there. I'm in it.
Daisy, that's a really good answer. Good job. All your publicists, your whole entourage, they're all smiling.
That's it? That's all you can tell us?
You're going to make it blush.
It's great. I'm getting warm.
Now, again, that's based on everything we've heard. That's the truth. They don't have a finalized script yet. They're still working through drafts of the script, but they've talked about the story they're pitching, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, blah, blah, blah. So that goes in line with everything we've heard as well. This is the next part that's very interesting.
It's a very worthwhile story, and I think Sharmeen's going to do an amazing job.
That's so funny.
Speaking of Sharmeen, I just have to ask, because there are some of the, I'd say, extreme Star Wars fans who have made this a conversation on the internet about how they don't want a female director, which seems bizarre because episodes of The Mandalorian were directed by females. I mean, Kathleen Kennedy has been overseeing all of this. So, what is your take?
So that's where we're going to stop it before we get to our answer, because I don't even really know this person's name. They haven't been paying attention because the conversation hasn't been, we don't want a woman directing Star Wars. The conversation has been about how Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, the only thing we've heard from her, not how much a big Star Wars fan she is, not any of this shit. Instead, it's all about the fact that she is a woman. It's not because she's a woman that people are upset. It's not about people not wanting women anywhere near Star Wars. It's the fact that Lucasfilm continues to show over and over again. It's not actually about telling an entertaining story or giving fans what they want. Instead, It's about virtue signaling. It's about hiring someone who's unqualified for the job, who's only going out there and not speaking about what she wants to do for Star Wars fans or what it means to her, and instead is going and talking about, well, I'm a woman, that's why it's important that I'm doing this. That's what the conversation has been about. As we stated multiple times, the fact that Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy says it's about time a woman shaped Star Wars is retarded to say. Because we've had female directors for the Star Wars Disney Plus projects. We've had women involved in Star Wars for so fucking long, and it's a joke. Kathleen Kennedy's overseen this thing for the past 12 fucking years. There was no backlash when Patty Jenkins was announced to direct Rogue One. It's a stupid, insane story, and it's been blown out of proportion by people in the media that hate Star Wars fans. Now, this is bait for Daisy Ridley, and we've seen time and time again, people at Lucasfilm, people involved in Disney Star Wars, shit all over Star Wars fans. Anytime there's a bad reception to a show or a movie or whatever, they blame the fan base, they call them sexist, they call them racist. We saw it with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series not that long ago. She doesn't take the bait on this one.
I think my take is things get blown out of proportion, and the interactions I've ever had with people have been nothing but wonderful and supportive. And honestly, the day we announced that I was coming back at Celebration last year, you cannot imagine the joy and goodwill in that room. So I've only ever been embraced, and I think we're going to make a great film and people will love it.
Cannot wait. Tell us more.
That is the perfect answer for this. That is absolutely the perfect answer. Someone tries to bait them into going after Star Wars fans. She says, you know, I think a lot of that stuff has really been blown out of proportion. I feel embraced by the fans, and I'm really looking forward to what we're going to make. That is perfect. And listen, I don't want any more stories with Rey. I think Rey's a terrible character, not because it's a girl. In fact, one of the stories I wanted more than anything else when Disney bought Star Wars was the Sword of the Jedi series with Jaina Solo, who is the daughter of Han and Leia in the old expanded universe continuity before Disney threw it in the trash. The reason people didn't like Rey was because of the story that Disney Star Wars decided to tell with her. And we can go back to this interview even from a couple days ago, where she again had a great answer when asked about Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. How is it going to be having the first female director for a film? And Daisy Ridley says, I don't know. I'm excited to do it, but not because Sharmeen is a woman, because her documentaries are amazing. Her idea for the story is cool as shit. Not playing into the entire fucking narrative that the media has been set out for since the beginning. So this is the best PR Lucasfilm could have possibly done by doing the opposite of what they've done for the past decade. Instead of attacking fans, instead of labeling them this, labeling them that for criticizing their creative decisions, Daisy Ridley says, you know what? I think a lot of that's been blown out of proportion. Now, I'm not hopeful for this movie to be any good in any way, shape, or form, but finally, you have somebody from Lucasfilm who's not throwing fans under the bus and, in fact, is defending them. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.